Welcome back to the station. Welcome back to the channel. Y'all know who it is, your boy Ray G. You can find me on X at RayGQue. And we got a treat yesterday. Matt Miller, NFL draft analyst over at ESPN, dropped a 2-round 2025 NFL mock draft. So we've got to talk about it. I briefly skimmed through the mock, saw a few of the players, a couple of the landing spots, but going through it right now with you all will be my first real pass going through all 64 of these picks. Appreciate you being here. If you're new to the channel, we have a good time. It's NFL draft, 24/7, 365. I don't make you pay for a membership. There's not any hidden fees. We've got an adult community that you can subscribe to, but I ask everybody one thing. Just support. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, engage with the good people below in the comments. Really want to blow this thing up heading into the NFL draft. 40K is the goal, so help your boy out. Hit that subscribe button, and if you are looking for fantasy football content, go to the other channel, DDFFB on YouTube. An amazing cast of content creators over there providing fantasy football analysis just about every single day. So we're going to have a good time today going through all 64 picks. Matt Miller and I are in alignment with some of these guys, and there's some disagreement, but we'll have some fun. 1 through 64, let's get it right now. 2 rounds, Matt Miller, and there are no surprises at the top, but there was a surprise announcement yesterday with the Cleveland Browns all-pro defensive end Myles Garrett saying he wants a trade. It's not about money. It's not about a new contract. It's about winning. And I think they're going to honor that. I believe Cleveland will honor that. Myles Garrett probably going to be on another team next year. Right now, the betting odd favorites, Dallas Cowboys. If I'm a Dallas Cowboys GM, owner, Jerry Jones, I would give up 12, a 26 first, and a player in a heartbeat to get Myles Garrett. But that's going to create some intrigue at the top of the draft. So right here, Miller has Abdul Carter going number 1, which would throw a wrench in the situation. And then Cleveland taking Travis Hunter at 2. And personally for me, if I'm Cleveland, what I don't want to do is set the expectation up for Abdul Carter to be Myles Garrett. I think they take Travis Hunter regardless. I said it in my mock that I dropped on Sunday. I do not believe that they're going to be in the market for a quarterback. And with Myles Garrett potentially on the move, or in my opinion, going to be moved, it just puts him in a mode where you should rebuild. Rebuild, take your time. If there's no quarterback that you believe is a true game changer, this makes it even easier for Cleveland to take another position. And I think the player that they would select would be Travis Hunter. Don't get Abdul Carter in there and the expectation is he's Myles Garrett, an all-pro player. You're setting fans up, him up for failure if you do that. So I think whether it's Abdul Carter at the top of the draft to Tennessee or Cam Ward, I don't think Cleveland is going to try to one-for-one swap Myles Garrett for Abdul Carter. And in this class, you've got the princely human Mylands. You've got a bunch of edge rushers in the second round, third round that you can get. Not saying they're going to be Myles Garrett, but another young pass rusher to help develop and grow without putting the pressure of Myles Garrett on Abdul Carter. So at 1, Miller's got Carter. 2, he's got Travis Hunter. I'm good with both of those picks. At 3, Cam Ward of Miami goes to the New York Giants. So QB1 is not Shedeur Sanders, it's Cam Ward, and he doesn't go 1 overall. He goes 3 to the New York Giants. They need a quarterback. They're taking somebody, and I really like the top of this draft. At 4, Mason Graham, D-tackle out of Michigan, goes to the New England Patriots. I had him in my mock that I dropped on Sunday, so in alignment there with Matt Miller, with Mason Graham. Very versatile defensive tackle, can play inside, can play 4-eye, can play on the edge. I've seen him stand up and rush from the outside. Doubt he'll do a lot of that in the NFL, but Mason Graham, with his very versatile head coach and Mike Vrabel, it just seems like a really good fit for the New England Patriots. At 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars, a common fit, common pairing in a lot of mocks. Will Johnson out of Michigan. I think he's the best pure cover corner in the class. Goes to Jacksonville at 5. 6, Shedeur Sanders and the Las Vegas Raiders. They pair up, and this is their quarterback of the future. They hired Chip Kelly, Pete Carroll in the building, Patrick Graham at defensive coordinator. I like what Las Vegas is doing right here. Sanders is my QB1 in this class, comes off the board as QB2. Raiders get their franchise quarterback of the future. I like it for Shedeur at 6. At 7, the Jets go Will Campbell, player that has either gone 4, as high as 4 to the New England Patriots, or fallen down in the teens. Right here, Miller says to the Jets at 7, Aaron Glenn, no big splashes early. Let's get a foundational type player, rebuild this thing from the inside out in New York. So Will Campbell going 7 to the Jets. Jalen Walker, crazy athlete. Outside linebacker, edge, off ball, just crazy football player. Carolina's defense historically bad. They need somebody. I had him taking Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. Jalen Walker, I've mocked to Carolina 2-3 times ago, so I'm I'm good with Miller. We all know they need defense. Could they have gone Tet McMillan? Sure. But I'm not passing on Jalen Walker here at 8. Let's help that defensive side of the ball out. Jalen Walker, 8 to the Carolina Panthers. Tet McMillan, 9 to the New Orleans Saints. Same player that I had in my mock on Sunday. Tet going to New Orleans at 9. And the Bears opting for offensive line help. Kelvin Banks out of Texas. Got to protect Caleb Williams. Protect Caleb at all costs, whether it's Will Campbell, Kelvin Banks, Armand Membu. If there's another player that you think is worthy of being tackled 1 or 2, give him to Chicago. Ben Johnson gets a franchise player to help Caleb Williams, their franchise quarterback. At 11, Josh Simmons goes to the San Francisco 49ers. This has been a tough team to mock for. I've given them everybody from a tackle in Kelvin Banks, Mike Green in my latest mock, Ashton Genty in one mock. This is a good team. This is a good team, and they should absolutely be a NFC championship type contending team in 2025. Got to help that offensive line out. Trent Williams isn't getting any younger, and we know Brock Purdy needs protection there. So Josh Simmons to San Francisco. A lot of people think had he not been injured would be the tackle one in this class. At 12, Miller was looking at my video on Sunday. Matthew Golden to the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of fans. I'd be good with Golden, but not at 12. I think as we progress through this draft process, more and more people will understand it's not the matter of Matthew Golden versus Luther Burden versus Emeka Egbuka. While they all have wide receiver after their name, schematically, their alignment and how they play are completely different. So for a team that's looking for an outside complement, whether that's Dallas, another team, Matthew Golden profiles more like the wide receiver that team should use, opposed to Luther Burden and Emeka Egbuka, who play primarily in the slot. That's what they did. Allow players to do and excel at the things that they're good at. Don't move Luther Burden to the outside when all he's done is dominate and thrive inside. Matthew Golden profiles as a boundary receiver. Outside of Tet McMillan, he's the top guy in the class. So right here, Dallas needs another boundary receiver because CeeDee Lamb can play on the outside, but they use him in the slot a ton. Let's allow him to continue to do that. I love the fit and the pick of Matthew Golden to Dallas at 12. Let's move down the board at 13. Armand Membu. We talked about that tackle going to the Miami Dolphins. They need O-line help. Talked to a couple of scouts down in Mobile and said they need everything. Defensive back help, but O-line, keeping Tua upright is of critical importance. Armand Membu played in the SEC guard or tackle prospect going to the Dolphins. Not even going to discuss Tyler Warren to Indianapolis. He's tight end 1. This is a great fit. Get Anthony Richardson an easy button. And if A-Rich is not the quarterback of the future, set this offense up for your quarterback of the future. And Tyler Warren can do just that. Think Brock Bowers when the Raiders took him at 13 last year. He's going to be a great weapon for whomever. And in this case, Shedeur playing quarterback, do the same thing in Indianapolis if you're not quite sold on A-Rich. At 15, Mykel Williams, edge out of Georgia, stays home, goes to the Atlanta Falcons. We know they need pass rushing help, so that's an easy fit. Cardinals take Jahdae Barron. This is as high as I've seen Barron go in mocks. Versatile cornerback, interesting write-up about him, playing inside with Budda Baker, instant improvement on the back end, and we know the Cardinals need help. Defensively, a lot of Cardinals fans want some defensive line help, getting pressure to get after the quarterback, but Jahdae Barron, incredible cornerback prospect. Do it all, sort of Swiss Army knife back there. Can play inside, can play outside. Hell, you can have him play that star position as well. Jahdae Barron going to the Arizona Cardinals. Cincy takes Shamar Stewart, edge rusher out of Texas A&M. Love it. They need defensive line help. Love this pick. He's a monster. Got to visit with him, see him play up close and personal. This would be a really good pick, and he's going to be a top 20 guy here come April. At 18, Jaheed Campbell goes to the Seattle Seahawks, linebacker out of Alabama. Another guy who's in between rounds 1 and round 2. Athletic, violent, physical. Here at 18, Seattle gets some defensive help with the linebacker out of Alabama. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Luther Burden III, wide receiver out of Missouri. And under this premise, it looks like this could be a spot where Chris Godwin leaves in free agency. You've got a young player in Jalen McMillan. They're going to bring Mike Evans back, boundary outside receiver. McMillan can line up in the slot or play outside. Luther Burden, you put him right in that slot, replace Chris Godwin. He's not going to be Chris Godwin off the rep, but a young, talented player that can learn and grow and develop with Baker Mayfield under Mike Evans. I like the fit of Tampa Bay and Luther Burden. Colston Loveland goes to Denver at 20. Another common team and a common player fit. Get Bo Nix some help. They dropped Greg Dulcich in the middle of the season. They need a wide receiver and a pass catcher. Colston Loveland is athletic as shit. As good as Tyler Warren is, athletically, Colston Loveland is better. He's smoother. I believe he's better in the route game. He's got a more diverse route tree than Tyler Warren. He's just a freak. Warren is a freak, physical specimen, run after the catch ability, really good blocker, better blocker than Colston Loveland, but it depends on what you want your tight end to do for your respective team. These are the top two guys. Denver gets a stud here at 20. At 21, another pick and a common team that I've continued to mock a wide receiver to. I believe they need help in the worst way. I don't know who's playing quarterback for Pittsburgh, but I do know they need pass-catching help. And you add Emeka Egbuka, who will play that power slot role, to George Pickens, who can play on the outside, stretch the field. You've got Calvin Austin, Pat Freiermuth, like what Pittsburgh is doing for whomever's going to play quarterback. And Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State, 21 to Pittsburgh. At 22, the Chargers. I did it. I did it on Sunday, and there's no way Genty can fall there, and the Broncos would never let the Ashton Genty fall to the Chargers. The Broncos are going to do what's in the best freaking interest of the Denver Broncos. Not let me draft this player so another team can't get. Not here. Not inside the top 20. You take the player that's going to impact and change your team. You're not worried about what somebody else is doing. That's fan shit. Stop it. Stop it. This running back class is dope. And Ashton Genty being in the 20s doesn't make him a bad running back prospect. There just are so many of these guys in this year's class. It's not a premium position to take inside the top 10 or the top 12. Not in this class and not with these running backs. But this is a need for Los Angeles. And I don't think that Harbaugh would let him go if he were on the board here at 22, knowing that they really don't have any other running backs under contract right now. So Genty to LAC, this would be good for Herbert. You've got Joe Alt last year. This would help Ladd McConkey out, keep some focus off of the passing game. Love the fit of Genty and LAC, and Matt Miller does as well. Green Bay at 23, had him taking Gray Zabel in my mock on Sunday. Miller says they are going O-line, but he went with Josh Connerly, the tackle out of Oregon. So Green Bay gets offensive line help for Jordan Love. Minnesota Vikings take Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. I thought he was one of the best defensive tackles there in Mobile. Very good through the drills. Quick hands, quick feet, staying tight to the bags. Did a really, really good job in his individual drills down in Mobile. So Walter Nolan goes to Minnesota, and a lot of Vikings fans, they say, we want D-tackle. And the last mock I did, they were like, give us Kenneth Grant here at 24. If Nolan was off of the board, he was in mine. He went to Cincinnati. At 25, Houston goes O-line help to help C.J. Stroud out. Tyler Booker out of Alabama. At 26, Ezra Thomas, cornerback out of Florida State, goes to the Rams. Really good week in Mobile. We know the Rams want defensive back help. They picked up Emmanuel Forbes once Washington cut him. They're looking for some pass defense. So Ezra Thomas out of Florida State, big week in Mobile, and his stock can continue to rise with a strong performance at the Combine later this month. Jonas Savina, the big tackle out of Arizona, goes to Baltimore to help out Lamar in that rushing attack. Derek Harmon, D-tackle out of Oregon, goes to the Detroit Lions, and a lot of Lions fans, D-line especially, not knowing how healthy Aiden Hutchinson will be to start the season, and I'm not sure if they're bringing Z Smith back either. At 29, James Pierce, edge out of Tennessee, goes to the Washington Commanders. At 30, Nick Emanwari, the safety out of South Carolina, goes to the Buffalo Bills. 31, Mike Green. Wow. Mike Green out of Marshall goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. I've had him at 11 to the 49ers, 12 to the Dallas Cowboys. You can make a case for him at 8 to the Carolina Panthers. Philly getting this, and I know Philly fans have said, we want edge. We want an edge rusher. I've mocked him, Landon Jackson. He's not our type of guy. That's not what they need. Other defensive, that's not what they need. Mike Green in Philadelphia would be unfair. As a Cowboys fan, I am hoping this does not happen. Eagles fans, let me know in the comments. You would be very happy to get Mike Green. I know you would. I would be happy if the Cowboys got him. Great pick, good fit. Philly gets Mike Green. Crazy work by Philadelphia right there. And at 32, Kansas City goes Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Help Chris Jones out a little bit. This was another player. In my last mock, I gave Kansas City Armand Membu here at 32, the tackle out of Missouri. Chiefs fans were like, yeah, we'll take him, but Kenneth Grant was on the board. We would have preferred the defensive tackle. Matt Miller satisfies your wishes. So that is round one. Kind of went through that one quickly because those are a lot of common names, common players in common spots. It's really the magic starts in round two. Moving forward, I'm not doing another mock. That's a single round. It's 2 rounds plus from here on out. So let's dive into round two and just see what caliber of player is still available if your team did not take the position you thought they should have taken in round one. And this really, in my opinion, is where the drafts get fun. They get creative because it's get your guy season. Like all that BPA, get your guy that's going to best fit your team and what you want to do and how you want to operate. So let's go to round 2. Cleveland at the top of round 2 takes Trey Amos, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Malachi Starks. We've seen him as high as 12. I've seen him inside the top 10. Matt Miller has him falling to the second round. Giants taking Malachi Starks. Now, let's just say this happens. I mean, they're secondary now. You've got Tyler Nubin, the safety from last year. You've got Andrew Phillips. You add Malachi Starks. You're creating a defense that's getting prepared to slow down and try to neutralize Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott when he's healthy, and Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. I can't see Starks falling this far, but man, if he does, I'm trading up to try to get that kid. So 34, Malachi Starks. Carson Schweschinger, the linebacker out of UCLA, was supposed to be in Mobile, but he wasn't there. I hear he's crazy athletic. You know, these linebackers that can move around, that can fly around, that can stop the run and play in the pass, they are a premium, especially in today's NFL game where you got to be able to stop the run. So Tennessee goes linebacker. Donovan Jackson, guard out of Ohio State, goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Talking about the 33-year-old Brandon Sheriff in free agency, protect Trevor Lawrence. I like the fit. I like the player. Donovan Ezeruku, the edge out of Boston College. Very good week in Mobile as well. One of those underrated edge defenders that if you didn't get one in round 1, there are probably 5 or 6 more that we're going to discuss here, even in this mock without me knowing. So the Raiders get some edge rushing help out of Boston College. The Patriots, another edge, Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. This just feels like a Mike Vrabel pick. It just feels like a Mike Vrabel pick. I don't know how else to qualify that, but it feels like a New England Mike Vrabel pick. So Jack Sawyer goes to the New England Patriots at 38. And we've got a running back, another running back at 39. The Chicago Bears take Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina. 6'1", 220 pounds, back-to-back 15 touchdown seasons, back-to-back 1,500-yard seasons. He is an incredible rusher, big physical running back that can explode for big plays. Chicago, they need a running back. They need their David Montgomery. They had a guy like that a few years ago. I don't think he's Jahmyr Gibbs. He'd be more than Monty in this offense, but I like the fit with Ben Johnson in Chicago. Omarion Hampton, really good player. At 40, the New Orleans Saints take QB3 for me in this class, Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. I had him going round 1 to the Jets in my mock. There are a couple of other mocks that have come out post-Senior Bowl that have him in round 1. I was listening to Kuiper and Phil Yates today and say he's going to be a first-round pick. So right here, Miller's still not all the way in on it yet, but New Orleans taking Jackson Dart at 40. After that, what do we have? 41, Talik Williams, D-tackle out of Ohio State, goes to the Bears. I've mocked Talik as high as 28, 29 to the Buffalo Bills, to the Detroit Lions. I like the Chicago, couple of picks here. So they've got 39 and 41. They can do a lot of damage with those 2 picks and a lot of flexibility to move around in the draft as well. 42, the Jets take Quinn Ewers out of Texas. Okay. Let's go back up and remember who the Jets took in round 1. Let's see. So how are we feeling about this, Jets fans? You got Will Campbell in round 1 and Quinn Ewers in round 2. My mock, I gave him Jackson Dart. And if they wanted to take a tackle, I guarantee there's going to be another tackle that we talk about. You're like, give me the quarterback and that tackle opposed to Quinn Ewers and Will Campbell. So I'm not there. Mel Kiper's got him as QB7. I still would take Dart is clearly over him. Give me Kyle McCord, potentially Will Howard, Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers. I might take the upside of Milroe, even though he didn't look particularly great in Mobile. This is one where, I don't know, Jets fans, let's move down the board and see if there are any other tackles you'd prefer to Will Campbell in exchange for Quinn Ewers for Jackson Dart. San Francisco takes Gray Zabel, center out of North Dakota State. Had him mock 23 to the Green Bay Packers in my mock. Great week in Mobile. Probably going to be a first-round pick as well. The Dallas Cowboys take Senior Bowl riser, tight end Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. 16, 17 yards per reception with Cam Ward here in 2024. Dominant in the Mobile. And he's all a 6'4.5", 250 pounds, and can fly. Moves like a wide receiver. And they need some explosiveness in Dallas. You know, you get Matthew Golden in round 1. You've got to upgrade from Jake Ferguson. He's fine, but he doesn't create explosives. Arroyo couldn't do that. And Ferguson to be a free agent after next year. So I like this play. Dallas, historically, they will take a tight end. They did last time they took a tight end in round 2, I think it was Gavin Escobar. I was at that draft in New York when they took Gavin Escobar. Maxwell Harrison, cornerback out of Kentucky, goes 45 to the Colts. Again, listening to Kuiper and Yates this morning, I think he's going to be a first-round pick when it's all said and done. Outstanding week in Mobile. So the Kentucky cornerback going to the Indianapolis Colts at 46. Ben Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame. I talked about this on my mock on Sunday. If the medicals were all the way clear, he'd be a first-round pick, but more and more information and more people talking, they don't know what that hip and is going to look like for him. So falling down the boards a little bit, Ben Morrison to the Atlanta Falcons. Arizona at 47, another injured cornerback who could be mocked in round 1 if the medicals clear out. Siobhan Revel Jr. out of East Carolina, 6'3", rangy, lengthy cornerback. If the medicals and the knee check out, he could be a first-round pick. But right here, Arizona gets him at 47. TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of Carolina, goes to the Miami Dolphins. JT Tuamalo, the edge out of Ohio State, goes to the Cincinnati Bengals. So they went Shamar Stewart in round 1, and then they went JT in round 2. They say D-line. Offensive line will be okay with Joe Burrow. Wide receiver will be okay with Jamar Chase, and they'll pay T. Higgins, right? Bring Yoshi Voss back. Go get after the damn quarterback. So they invested a lot in this mock on the defensive side of the ball. Seattle at 50, Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas. And the Denver Broncos, they add to the offensive side of the ball after taking Colston Loveland in round 1. Caleb Johnson. I really think he could be the second running back off of the board. Big Ten producer, fast, physical. I have comped him to DeMarco Murray. I've got a profile out on Caleb Johnson on this channel. He runs just like DeMarco Murray. That's who I see when I see Caleb Johnson run the ball. You put him in Denver. I love this. I love the fit. Love this. Caleb Johnson in Denver, nice pick. And then look at the next pick. Quinshon Judkins, running back out of Ohio State, goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris is gone. Free agent, Jaylen Warren, exclusive rights. He will be back, but they are not going to give Jaylen Warren 25, 30 touches a game. They've got to find another bruising physical back. And I love Judkins. And one of the things that I like about his profile coming into the draft, while he didn't have a 1,700-yard season, he also didn't get beat to shit this year because they split time with Trey Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. So I love this. Second-round pick, give me Judkins to Pittsburgh. Nice fit, nice player. Tampa Bay, Princely Human-Milan. Talked about him, the edge out of Ole Miss. Really good week in Mobile. Explosive off the edge. He's going to play on the outside. A little bit leaner, but I like the fit for Tampa Bay and what they could do with him down there. Nick Scordon, fallen quite a bit. I think people are realizing Shamar Stewart is the more explosive playmaker, the more explosive athlete. Nick Scordon, categorized as an edge, but at 6'4", 285, 290, maybe one of those defensive ends and that can kick down and play some interior defensive line as well. So Nick Scordon goes to Green Bay at 54. Mason Taylor out of LSU, and this is such a good team and player fit. They take Mason Taylor, the Los Angeles Chargers, that is. Again, got to see him, speak with him down in Mobile. Big guy, incredible bloodline and pedigree. Dad is Hall of Fame defensive end from Miami, Jason Taylor. And Mason Taylor just outstanding. I mean, all week. He can block, fluid in the receiving game. He's got the right mentality to play tight end. And I have comped him to what Hunter Henry was when he came into the NFL with the San Diego Chargers. He looks just like Hunter Henry. That 86 movement skills, I think he's going to test fine. Mason Taylor's going to be a day 2 pick and probably an impact starting tight end from day 1. One of the most complete tight end prospects in this class. Love this fit. Love the player. LA just getting better. Getting weapons for Herbert. In the AFC West, when you've got to compete with Sean Payton and what he's going to bring, you've got to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs and everything that they do every year. And what the Raiders are trying to build, you got to score some damn points. And you need more help than just Ladd McConkey. Mason Taylor, a player that can impact the game through his receiving ability and contribute as a blocker in the running game for Ashton Genty. Love this pick. Love this player. Love the fit. Probably my favorite player fit here in round 2, Mason Taylor to the Chargers. At 56, Josh Farmer, another riser. Field and Mel were saying maybe somewhere in round 3 or 4 or higher. Incredible week in Mobile. Physical run-stuffing defensive tackle. Buffalo needs it. So here you go. Josh Farmer out of Florida State to the Buffalo Bills. Quincy Riley, another Senior Bowl. I didn't know anything about this kid. I'm just out there watching, and I kept asking one of the scouts from Bleacher Report, who is that Riley kid? Who's this Riley kid out of Louisville that's just always around the ball, making plays? Here you go, Carolina. I've mocked them, Will Johnson to the Carolina Panthers because defensive help is what they need. To get Quincy Riley here at 57, big-time riser, good player, good week in Mobile. Like the pick, like the fit. Houston, they get the biggest boy, Dayon Walker. Big 6'7", 340-pound Dayon Walker out of Kentucky. And he looks all of 6'7", 6'8", 340-plus pounds. Big physical guy. A lot of scouts were talking about how he was misused at Kentucky. That whole defense, you got so many talented defensive players, but he's not an every snap, every down guy. Let him get those 30 to 35 snaps, Jordan Davis-esque. He can be an impact player for you. Love to get him here at 58. At 59, the Baltimore Ravens go for some wide receiver help, and Miller hasn't taken Jalen Royals, the wide receiver out of Utah State. I wasn't that impressed. There was nothing, he didn't do anything wrong, but there was nothing special about his game that I saw. A lot of people were hyping him up going into Mobile. I walked away. I thought Jalen Noel was better. I thought Jack Besh was better. I thought Restrepo was just as good. I don't know. I here at 59, Trey Harris is still on the board. There are probably about 4 or 5 other receivers I would take over Jalen Royals, but the bigger point, getting Lamar Jackson help, I 1,000% agree with that. Baltimore takes Royals at 59. At 60, Jared Wilson, center out of Georgia, goes to the Detroit Lions, so they continue to go back to the offensive line well. And the Commanders, in my opinion, get the better wide receiver here at 61. Trey Harris out of Ole Miss. Jackson Dart's performance and what he was able to do, a big part of that was Trey Harris at the beginning of the season. He only played a couple of games, and he still had 1,000 damn yards on the season. He was on pace to shatter Devontae Smith's SEC receiving record prior to the injury. 6'3", 200-plus pounds, an experienced player. I think he could step in right away for the Commanders, play opposite of Terry McLaurin, and be an upgrade. I had mocked Eric Eomanor to the Washington Commanders at 29. Here's even better. You get Trey Harris here at 61, even better than taking Eomanor in the first. So Trey Harris to the Commanders. Landon Jackson, another big edge defender. Good week in Mobile, and Buffalo just loading up on D-line. They say, we ain't doing this shit again. Give us 6'7", 6'5", Landon Jackson out of Arkansas here at 62. Last 2 picks, 63. Oh, love it. Philly just smashing this draft. They get Mike Green in round 1, and here in round 2 at 63, Terrence Ferguson, another big, fast, fluid, dynamic tight end that was incredible down in Mobile. Very good career at Oregon. Built very well. He's got the frame to put on more weight, and what a good player to learn from in Dallas Goedert. He's a pass-catching tight end. And Dallas Goedert right here, remember when he got drafted and Zach Ertz was in the building? Philly just has this innate ability to continue to keep that tight end pipeline fresh, and I believe they do that here with Terrence Ferguson. That would be a great pick, but let's wrap this thing up with a bang. And I've given this team, the Kansas City Chiefs, a running back in prior mocks in round 1, but if they can walk away from round 1 with a defensive tackle at the end of the first, who was it? Was it Kenneth Grant that they took at the end of the first round? I believe. Let's see what KC took at the end of the first. The Chiefs took, Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. And here in round 2, probably the most explosive, dynamic back not named Ashton Jeanty. Let's go to the Ohio State and talk about Travion Henderson. Wow. What a fit. What a pick. What a player. Explosive in the receiving game. We see what Kareem Hunt, not Kareem Hunt from 2017, Kareem Hunt here in 2024, 2025 season, what he's doing for this Chiefs offense. You get them an explosive, dynamic playmaker like Henderson, and the rich just get richer. I love the fit. Running back is a position of need, and doing it here in round 2, even better than round 1. And that is my big thing with this running back class. We're here at 64, and Travion Henderson is off of the board, and we still have 10 other quality running backs that we can take in round 3, the likes of Devin Neal, the likes of Ollie Gordon. You've got Cam Scadaboo, R.J. Harvey, This class is loaded. You do not have to. You can, but you don't have to spend a first rounder on a running back here. I had Henderson going 24 overall to the Vikings. I love his skill set. He's a great player, but value-wise, much better value getting him at freaking 64 than 24. So there it is. 2 rounds from Matt Miller. Link to this mock will be in the description of the video. I thought this was solid. I thought Miller did a really good job. Let me know what y'all think. A lot of the players and the picks we had in common. We were simpatico. We were in sync with the Matthew Goldens of the world. We're in sync with Ashton Genty to the Los Angeles Chargers at 22. Little off with Jackson Dart, but we'll see how that plays out. Again, show that support, show some love, hit the subscribe button, comment below. More NFL draft and rookie content coming on this channel. And again, if you want the fantasy football goodness, go to DDFFB and subscribe to the content creators over there. Have an amazing day. I'll see you here on the channel soon. I'm out. Peace.